Amanda with Sweet Pieces, and we are here in our Huntington today, and we're ready to demo. Who is ready to demo? Who wants to learn about gel stain rather? Yes. So this is our first demo session today. If you missed this one, you want to actually come down in person. We're going to be again today at 2 o'clock. So the first product we're going to be talking about today is gel stain. So this is an awesome product if you don't want a painted finish, but you want to do more of a stained effect, but you're like me and you're like half lazy. You don't like to do too much work when you do a project. So gel stain is really cool because you don't have to completely strip the surface to stain it. You can lightly sand it and then apply your stain and then be done with it. So before we got on camera here, I spent a quick 5 minutes. How many of you can vouch for me? It was just a few minutes, right? They're all raising their hands back there. It was just a couple minutes. I just spent, kind of sanding it down. There was a couple like paint splotches on here. I took those off. So one thing to note about gel stain, if you don't have, like you can see, this is not like a completely smooth surface. There's like a mark here and there's some marks here. So this isn't going to be like perfect, but I'm not going for perfect. I'm going for more. I'm going to layer this. So we're going to do a gray gel stain on this, and then we're going to do a white glaze and a brown glaze to create like a driftwoody type of a look. So this is going to look kind of like Restoration Hardware. If you were to buy this at Restoration Hardware, it would probably be like, I don't know, $8.95 or $9.95, something like that. But you could do this with a piece that you get at an estate sale or a garage sale or downstairs in our nude furniture section. There's lots of nude furniture down there. And spend less than $100 on products and have all kinds of goodies to transform pieces. So I gave it a quick sand. That's the first thing. We wiped it with a rag with some water. We spritzed a little bit of water on it. We used our favorite shop towels to do that. And then what do I use to apply this? I use some foam brushes. We do carry these here at Sweet Pieces. And there's one product I meant to bring out here with me. Elisa, could you grab it for me, Bloxygen? So gel stain is an oil-based product, okay? So this is different from chalk paint that we carry. And I have 2 cans of the same product here. So this is gray gel stain. So everybody can see this, right? It's kind of like blobby. It's a little bit thick, right? You guys can see that. I'm giving it a quick stir before I start this, just to get everything mixed up. When you go ahead and put this lid back on here, the air, the oxygen that you're trapping inside of that can is going to start to cure the product that's in the can. And we found such an issue with this. And I have to tell you, here at Sweet Pieces, we're all about giving our customers what they want. We're all about finding the latest, most innovative products for your projects, and they have to be easy because, like I said, I'm like half lazy, right? So those are the requirements. So all of our customers were complaining that their gel stain was drying out, and what do? We used it one time and now it's bad. So here's an example. This is a can of ours that we closed, and then it was ruined, and you can't use it. Like sometimes we'll take a knife and we'll kind of jab at it, and then we get some product underneath it. So we found a solution, and it's a really cool product. It's called Bloxygen, and what it does is it basically blocks oxygen. So it physically removes the oxygen from the can and replaces it with a heavier gas called argon, which is totally safe. And basically that argon sits on top of the gel stain and allows it to not cure. So your gel stain will be like this forever and ever, years, if you left it in the can without the oxygen. So it's a really, you basically, what you do is you put the lid on it. It's a little straw that you stick in there, you squirt it, it pulls the oxygen out, you close the lid, and you're good to go. So that is a product that we carry inside if you think that, well, basically any oil-based product. You don't want to use this on, so this is it. It feels totally empty. It's not. So you put this little straw here into the lid, you squirt it, you put the lid down, and you're good to go. Any oil-based product. So this will work for other products that you might have at home that are oil-based. You don't want to use it on your water-based products though, just oil-based. So what do I do here? How do I do this? So you want to make sure you stir your gel stain, okay? Stir it up, stir it up. I always like to have rags on hand, so these are my favorite rags to use. And this is going to be for wiping back if necessary. And you guys feel free to come on in a little bit closer here. So I'm going to use the bigger guy here. I'm going to go between these two. I usually have both of these on hand with me, and I don't have a large enough container, so I'm just going to use this because I forgot to get a plate. Okay, so I'm going to load up my guy there, and I'm just basically, just want to make sure I wiped this off good enough. I got a little blob here, that's okay. I'll wipe him out. And then I'm just going to basically paint this on. And you can do this, you know, it's really your call. You can do this really heavy, you can do it really light. I'm going to make sure I get inside this little crevice here. It's gel stain, so it is going to have a long drying time, so you can kind of go back and rework it if need be. I'm going to get a little bit more on my foam here. And basically that's it. You just kind of keep brushing it out until you get the effect that you want. If you want it to be really solid and heavy like that, you can leave it like that. You can take a rag and kind of wipe it back if you don't want it to be that heavy. You can allow some of the wood grain to kind of peek through here. And then you can also do like multiple coats. So if you do one coat, and then you feel like, you know what, I don't want all that wood grain showing through, then you can go ahead and throw a second coat on it. You do need to wait between 6 and 8 hours to allow it to kind of dry. When you put that next coat on, depending on the humidity level, it's probably not going to be totally dry, but if it's a little bit tacky, that's okay, but you don't want it to be like super wet. So if it is super humid, then you just want to kind of be careful of that. Okay, so that's one coat here. And I'm just kind of like feathering it down on the sides, making sure I don't have any drippage. And my vision for this, again, it's like that restoration hardware layered kind of a finish. I want some of this wood grain peeking through. So I'm probably going to do just this one coat and kind of be done with it. And then I'm going to start layering some glazes right on top of this. So I'll see when it dries, I'll see how it looks. And if you see what I'm doing here, I am trying to go with the grain of the wood. And if I feel like it's a little bit too light, I'm kind of pouncing this again in the grain of the wood and then just kind of feathering it out. I'm not pushing really hard with my brush. I'm going very lightly. This grain is going the other direction, so I'm going to do it that way. If I push really hard, I'm going to start to, do you see how it's kind of just pulling that up? So just kind of feather it. Pounce, 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 pounce.
If you wanted, could you put on another color while it's still wet now off
another gel stain?
Yeah.
I haven't ever done that with gel stain. I've done it with the glaze effects. I would imagine that you can, but it's not, you're going to get some blending. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not going to, if you can layer another color of gel stain on top of this after it's dry, and then they'll stay separate. But if you don't mind them kind of blending together, then absolutely, I wouldn't see any reason why you couldn't do that. You can also mix the gel stains. So if you like antique walnut, but it's a little too light, but you like Java and it's a little too dark, you can mix them together to, kind of play around with it. Yeah, I've mixed the gray. I've mixed the gray and Java. It actually creates a really nice gray-brown kind of a color. So you do have options there. What other questions do you guys have for me?
How do you seal it? Like, you're going to use it for a table and chair.
Great question. So again, this is an oil-based product, so you do need to give it some dry time. We recommend using something called High Performance Topcoat. It's another General Finishes product, so it goes with the gel stain. Oh goodness. And basically what you need to do is you need to wait at least 72 hours. More if it's very, very humid. And you'll know, like if you touch it and it's still tacky, give it another day. You know, in the middle of winter, it'll be fine, but in the summertime, like right now, it may take a little bit longer to dry. And then basically you're gonna put that high performance top coat on. It's a water-based product. It's very easy to use. It's super crystal clear. It dries fast. It cures really hard, and it levels. So it's not like, it's forgiving. It's easy to work with.
Doesn't leave brush strokes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, anything is gonna leave brush strokes a little bit, unless you're spraying it. I mean, we have like a pad, like a paint pad that you can use, and I think that's excellent, and it probably gets you to like 90% no brush strokes, but you're always gonna have that 5 to 10% of a little bit of a brush stroke if you're doing anything by hand. But you can spray it. It sprays beautifully, so that is another option for you.
When you mix the stains, you mix them in the can or mix them on the surface?
It depends. If you want it to be kind of like modeled and you don't mind it being a little mishmashy, then I would do it right on the piece. If you want it to be exact and you're going for a nice solid look, then I would mix them in a separate container. And we do carry some containers that have you know, marks on it, so that you can, you know, be pretty precise with you know, your mixing.
That is the bottom.
Any questions?
Can you put one of those like
Well, yeah,
decals
face
on
under
it?
it too.
A decal, yeah,
Like you have
absolutely.
in there if
Yep.
you wanted to put it like you did on the drawers. and-
Yeah, so she's talking about a decor transfer, another product that we carry here, and basically you would just wait until it's cured, you know, at least 72 hours, and then you can apply it right to the front of it, and that would be beautiful. Yeah. So like I said, I'm gonna do some glazes on top of this, the white and the brown. And I'm gonna wait 72 hours to do that, because same thing, the glaze is a water-based product, so I wanna make sure that that oil is dry before I put it on. Anything else? No other questions? All right, so I'm gonna move on to mirror effects. Okay, so there we go, gel stain in a nutshell, super easy, super fun. And I'm gonna move on to another product that we just started carrying, called mirror effect. So how many of you love like that mercury glass look? I know, it's so pretty, isn't it? So this was a piece of glass, okay? Just a plain piece of glass. We put this little decal on this. You can kind of still see through this, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to fix that. So once you spray, I'm doing this a little bit like backwards. So I'm showing you how you would finish your project, and then I'm gonna show you how to start your project. I did this on medicine cabinet doors that are in my bathroom. So the cabinet doors were china cabinet doors. So they were just plain glass. I sprayed the mirror effects. I layered it with some alcohol. Alcohol is going to give you like little pock marks, and it's going to make it look more like mercury glass. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I layered it and it looked beautiful, but then I could still kind of like see through it. And I was like, how do I fix that? So this is what I figured out. I took some spray paint, like a metallic spray paint. We are going to have a couple of these in stock very soon. And basically I just went over the backing with a little bit of the spray paint. Can you see it filling in? I don't know if you guys can tell from that side. And basically this is just going to fill in any of those blank spots with a different tone, so that it gives it more of like a layered effect. How does that look, Julie? A little better? So I don't want to like spray you guys out here. This stuff is kind of stinky. So we'll give that a few minutes to dry, and then I'll come back with another coat if need be. But basically that's just going to like fill in any of those marks and just make it a little bit more solid, which is exactly what I did with my doors. They are on our Instagram page and our Facebook page, so you can take a look at them. They're gray and they're swirly and fun, and we talk about this product there. So I'm just going to move this out of the way so I can show you how to start with this. And I just have an old window here, and this is a nice wooden window, And we have customers all the time. This is how this product was born. Customers would come in and say, well, how do I put glass in that? Or how do I put mirror in that? I want to make it like a mirrored window. And I thought there's got to be an easier way than paying somebody to knock all that glass out and buy mirror and redo it. It's just a pain in the butt. So I came across this product and it's really fun. So basically what I do with this is we're going to go between this guy and alcohol. So this is just regular rubbing alcohol in here. And I like to kind of like flick this on. So I'm going to spray it in my hand and I'm going to flick it on, and then I'm going to spray this and I'm going to go back and forth. Now this dries super quick, so you can do this like after a couple of minutes. You can layer another coat after a couple minutes. And this does smell, unfortunately. That's why we're doing these demos today outside, because these are our two smelly products that we carry. So I apologize. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz this in my hand. And I'm just going to do that. And I'm just going to layer this. And this is going to run a little bit because I have it standing straight up. Ideally, you can put it face down and then you won't really get that running happening. So it's pretty much dry, like within a minute or two. So I'll just keep going here. Can you see that, Julie? So this is like, I would say, I usually do about maybe 4 or 5 layers to get it to be where that Long Island sign was. And do it outside. You can only do this in the summer.
Use the alcohol with each layer?
Say that again?
Use the alcohol?
I do, yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can, you kind of play around and find like what works for you. And what you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to lay this down flat. Thank you.
Now what if you didn't use the alcohol?
Then it will look like that sign. We didn't use any alcohol on that
mirror.
sign. Yeah. I mean, it's never really going to be totally solid. It's not going to look like a perfect mirror. It's more meant to be like, kind of mottled and mercury glass-ish. If you guys want to come closer, feel free.
What would it look like if you didn't use the alcohol?
It's just going to be more solid, like that Long Island sign. We didn't use the alcohol on that one.
Okay, so if you want it more solid.
Yeah. And you can see how I'm doing this, just really light. The key is like layer, just like let it be layered. It's stinky, yeah. Remember those like little balloons as a kid? Like you had to blow them with a little straw.
Yeah, the plastic thing.
Yeah, that's what I feel like it smells like. And I didn't spray any alcohol this time on this one, so you can kind of go between. Like you could do a little bit of alcohol, a little not. Just kind of get it until you like the way it looks. It's really cool. It's just a really neat product. In the front, if you go into the building, in the very front, if you go to the right, there's a space up there, and one of the girls that she does these like drawings where like on wood and whatnot, and it's all swirly. She actually does them all by hand. It's amazing. Lindsay is her name. She just had a baby, and she used the mirror effects on one of those, and it came out so cool. So it was the background of one of them. Really neat. Sorry, Julie. I owe Julie a new pair of leggings. So if you take a look at this, do you guys see what's happening with that? It's like creating these really cool, like it looks like mercury glass, basically. So I'll just give this a minute and then I'll keep layering. Any questions?
Have you backed it with anything? Like a different color or
black.
Not yet, but
It's that spray, right? That's
yeah, so this spray I did on the back of that one, and I did it on the back of my medicine cabinet doors.
And that looks like a different color. That looks more like a
Yeah, it's more like
there's a platinum.
a nickel. Yeah, so it's a little bit different, so it just gives it a little bit of variation. If you look at like mercury glass, it's not all one color. There's some like variation in the color, so that's basically what it
What
is.
if you use like a dark, like a gray or something? Would that?
Yeah, it would definitely give it a different look. You could definitely do that.
Now, does the other side look the same as this? When you
It's
flip
gonna look a little bit different, which you'll see in just a few minutes. And again, if you're spraying this, if you have the option to lay it down like this, that's really the best thing. If you don't, you just want to be really thin with your coats, really, really thin, and then you won't get any dripping. So I'm gonna let this dry 1 minute. I'll do one more coat, and then we're gonna flip it over because I think it'll be good. So, what else? Any other questions?
Is there a need to seal this side?
Not really. I mean, it really depends on what you're doing. If you took like a scrub brush to this,
Yeah.
it would probably come off.
I just think I have a pantry door that I'm changing the glass out in.
Got it.
And, you know, the kids go in, the little kids go in there and they push on it
Yeah.
with their hands. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, you do have to clean peanut butter off.
Yes,
of it or something.
absolutely. So you could, like sealing it with the spray paint, or you could probably even use chalk paint to just seal the back of it, and then, you know, top coat it with something, and that would be totally fine.
Yeah, have you tried putting masking so you have like a clear line through it?
A masking.
You know, so that before you did your process, you have.
Oh yeah, you could definitely do that. Oh, you got a lot of ideas going on here. I love it. So what she's saying is, if you do like a tape this off before you start the project, so then that stays clear, and then do the rest on top of it, you could definitely do that. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, because it's a whole
ball
big
game.
panel, and I don't want.
You know what you could do? I just got another idea. So we do cut custom stencils and custom vinyls here. So you could do like pantry, write the word.
Well, that's what's on there now, and
Okay.
I don't like
And
it.
you don't
It's
like
with
it.
the fruit basket
Got
and
it.
the fruit
Well,
fruit,
you
and
can
I'm
make
like,
it a little bit more modern. If
Except
you
that
wanted
was done with
to.
a frosted glass, so I have
Got
to
it.
change the glass out
Got it.
before I go to this.
Yes. So you could essentially do, you know, put some sort of a design in it or something before you start, which would be pretty cool. Now you got my wheels turning. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I wanted a mirror, but I didn't want a mirror.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a window in that big closet.
Got it.
Whatever, it's like a little room. So I want, it has clear, and I said, no, I like that.
Yeah.
The light still comes
Right,
through.
right. And this will allow the light to still come
Right.
through as well. You know, antique mirror, to buy an antique mirror, like to have them custom make it,
Can't touch
it's very expensive. So to do something like this is just so easy. I mean, what are these? How much are these? $12.95 for a can, and you'll do like, you know, a couple of windows, a couple doors with this. It's really fun. All right, so I'm going to do one more coat here.
So if you have a mirror that's like hidden, an old mirror, and you want to like make it look a little better, you could use this on top of a mirror.
Yeah, so we actually did that on a piece inside. Right near the front counter, there's an oak dresser that's like it's like a whitewashy. If you look on the bottom of that mirror, you'll see it filled it in. I mean, it doesn't look like perfect mirror, but it was black and you could see through
You
it
have to do the
before.
whole thing or just the
I just
side?
did the spot.
Oh,
Yeah, I just did the little spot, and it really filled it in nicely. It made a difference. So I'm just doing one more quick coat. Julie's taking a breath. Oh, before you take the so we got a comment here from someone for your pantry door. She said, before you take the glass out, try cleaning it with oven cleaner. That might take the frosted off.
I think it's done.
Okay,
I
all
don't
right.
think it's, I don't think it was, you know. Yeah.
feel it, right?
Yeah, it's
Try
not-
it.
I'll
It
try
doesn't hurt,
I'll
right?
try it, but I like I said, I think it's
Okay.
extra.
That one of those, did you get it with those?
I bought the house.
Oh,
$10.
They weren't cheap.
$10. I'm sorry, it's smelly. And we do have a sale going on here today, everyone. I don't know if you hear all the wheeling and dealing that's going on behind us, but you better get your heinies down here because everything's going to be gone.
That looks great.
So how cool is that? So now you can like see how you can still see my hand behind there. So if once this is dry, and I would give this probably like 20 minutes or so to really dry. You can then spray something else, or you could even paint chalk paint behind this as well. And that will just make it nice and solid. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. So there you go. And I did just scrape that. So what do you think? Are your wheels turning now? Are you ready to use mirror effects on something? That looks really cool. Really fun. I like it. I dig it. Any questions? So just so you know, we have been selling this stuff like hotcakes because apparently everybody wants to turn glass into a mirror. So we do have some limited supplies today, but if you can't, if we run out in there, and you just order it, we'll still honor the discount and we'll get it in sometime probably late next week.
Can we do it inside like a jar? You know, like maybe
Absolutely.
a large vase or something?
Absolutely. If you know, how many clear glass things do we come across at the thrift store? You know, the vases that you get like with flowers. You know, they're kind of simple and there's nothing to them. You could absolutely do the mirror
Fill it up
effect.
with water then?
Probably. I mean, I don't know if it would harm the plants, but you could definitely. Yeah, why not? Why not? So there you have it. There you have it. Easy peasy, mirror effects and gel stain. Are we excited to get started on some new projects? Yeah, I see all your wheels turning. The smoke is coming out of everyone's ears. All right, we'll be back here at 2 o'clock. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Want to learn more? Subscribe now.